Alright, we've got our case sewn together on our sides, and now we're going to make the boxed bottom. I've pressed my seams open. I've sewed that with a 1/2 inch seam. I'm going to lay the bag flat down on my work surface, and I'm going to make just a small boxed bottom in this. So I'm going to mark a 1/2 inch line, a 1/2 inch up from the bottom, and a 1/2 inch in from my side seam. And I'm just going to mark a little square right there. So a 1/2 inch up from the bottom, a 1/2 inch in from the side. And then I'm going to cut my fabric out between those marks. I find that easiest to do with a pair of scissors. This is not going to be a very deep, fat bag because it doesn't have to be for our little iPad. I'm cutting just that little bit out of each side. Then I'm going to reach my hand in and open my bag out, flattening it and flattening that piece so that I can put a pin in there, and I'll sew across that with a 1/4 inch seam. I probably don't even need to pin it. I can just take it to my machine and sew right across there on each side. I'm going to do the very same thing on my lining. On my lining, I've sewn it with a 1/2 inch seam on each side, but I left an opening in one side so that I can turn my bag through there. But I'm going to mark a 1/2 inch from the bottom, a 1/2 inch from the side seam. Make sure you mark from the seam, not from the outer edge, because it's got to be a 1/2 inch even each direction. Cut that piece out. I'll sew that boxed bottom, and then I can put my bag together. Got my pieces cut out. Again, I'll do the very same thing on this. I'll bring my pieces together across the bottom. It's not as easy to do on this because it's a little more flimsy than the piece with the soft and stable. But flatten that out so that my side seam matches straight across there, and then I'll sew that with a 1/4 inch seam.